Hello guys, Neopel Times here, welcome to a new video, and today we're gonna be taking a look at the Thunderbolt 4 Pro cable from Apple. Okay, so this cable was actually kind of controversial when it first came out, and that is mainly because of the price. We'll talk a bit more about the price later, but yeah, this is a Thunderbolt 4 Pro cable, meaning it's pretty much the fastest you can get. Now, USB-C has a great side, which is that all the cables look the same. However, internally they don't work the same. And that's where cables like this come. So you might see a USB-C cable, and however it might not transfer data, or might not transfer it as fast, or might not transfer power as fast, and stuff like that. So it is important actually to know what kind of USB-C cable you have. What I recommend, if you buy a lot of stuff, you will end up with a bunch of USB-C cables. So what I recommend is that whenever you buy something, you take the cable, you put it in a bag, and you tag what it was for. Whether it was only power, or power and data, fast data, slow data, etc. But anyway, back to where we were. This cable is actually very fast at transferring data. Now I don't know the speeds right now, I'll put them here. But yeah, it is really fast. So this can be used for transferring data from a hard drive, for example, or from a server or whatever, super fast, or can be used even to connect your Mac to a Pro display, or it can output up to 8K. Now, regarding the options, you have this 1 meter cable, which is $70. You have 1.6 meter, which is $130, and you have 3 meters that was released later, which will set you back $160. Now that is really not cheap. However, the longer the distance, the harder it is to keep these speeds. And for example, the 3 meter cable, Apple is the only manufacturer that sells a Thunderbolt 4 3 meter cable. So if you have a setup where your display for some reason is super far from your computer, then you will probably need that. Now, a cable like this, I believe, is included both with the Studio Display and the Apple XDR display. But yeah, it's good that you can also buy it standalone. Now, I got the 1 meter version because actually, and this is actually way too much for me, because I want to have a backup for a very short cable that I have for transferring photos. So yeah, like 30 centimeters would have been enough. So yeah, in this video we will also be comparing it to other USB-C cables, both from Apple and third-party manufacturers, in order to know which one does have better transfer speeds. But yeah, of course, the first thing we need to do before doing all that is to unbox it. Okay, so as you can see, here's the box. It's really simple. You can see both ends of the cable here. They have the little lightning to indicate it's Thunderbolt, and then some text. As you can see, this was $70. It is USB-C, and that's pretty much it. Nothing else interesting here. But let's open the pull tab. Oh, it's paper now. I didn't know that. Yeah, let's open the pull tab and open the actual cable. And here it is. Wow, it's actually a thick cable. But before we look at that, nothing else really here, just wanted information. So we'll put all of this aside. Now, regarding the cable, it comes wrapped in this paper contraption thing. So it is actually, yeah, fairly long, 1 meter. And it's really thick. Like if I compare it to, this is one of the cables that came with, for example, an iPad mini or a Mac. You can see the difference, like it's super thick. That's of course because basically transferring more data means that there have to be more cables. But yeah, I have talked enough. Now we're going to be comparing transferring files from this cable. Now I do not have any Thunderbolt accessories, sadly, because it would be good to maybe try like a Thunderbolt drive or whatever. But we'll do what I can. Okay, so the medium that we'll be testing out is 2. First of all, we will be trying it out in this Pro Grade Gold, I think it is, CF Express card. This is, in theory, the fastest transferring thing I have. It's up to 1700 megabytes per second. And we'll be testing it out also with this reader, of course. It's Axiom, or whatever it is. But yeah, you plug it in here, and then you have a USB-C port in here. And then we will be testing out this Western Digital My Passport Ultra 4 Mac. This is a hard drive though, this is no SSD, this is a mechanical drive, the speeds will be much lower. That's why I want to test it out. Then as for the cables, we will be trying a few different things. First of all, this USB-C to USB-C 240 watt cable by Apple. This is 2 meters long, and yeah, it can be bought separately. This one came with my Mac a few years ago, but of course now they have the MagSafe cables. But yeah, we'll be trying this one out. Then we will be trying this. This is an idea I had in the last minute. This is a USB-C to Lightning cable, but I put in the end the Lightning to USB-C adapter. Now I did a review on this adapter, and it's actually very surprising, the amount of things it can do that I didn't know it could do. So yeah, we'll be trying this out. I expect this one to be slower just because of course Lightning is only USB 2.0 speeds. Then we will be trying this short Western Digital cable, which is actually the one I wanted to replace, and this came with this drive that I showed you earlier. And it's actually the current fastest cable that I have for transferring media. So that's why I want to test it out and compare it against the Thunderbolt cable to see which one's faster. Then we have this one. This is the 1 meter 60 watt USB-C to USB-C cable by Apple. If you buy iPhone 15, iPad, whatever, this is the cable that you're gonna get. And then last but not least, of course, because that's what this whole video is about, we have the Thunderbolt 4 Pro cable, which should be the fastest of the bunch. But yeah, that's only for us to test out and see if it really is. So without further ado, let's get to it. Okay, so as you see, we have the Mac ready, and we're going to start with this, which is the CF Express card with a camera reader. That's what I've been using. And we'll go from what I think will be slowest to what I think will be fastest. But actually, let's start and see how long each one takes. Okay, so I finished all the tests. That actually took me a big while to do all of the tests, but they're now finished and I have the results here. So before we start, I want to say that yeah, there was actually some surprises. First of all, the Lightning plus the adapter combo did not work. It did not recognize the drives when I plugged them in. So yeah, that part I marked it as not recognized. It also didn't recognize, for some reason, the longer 240 watt cable with the CF Express card. However, it did recognize it with the hard drive, which is weird. But yeah, other than that, we have raw numbers here. As you can see, there's like two big groups. One of them being the the standard USB-C cables that come with Apple's devices, which are considerably slower. And then on the other side we have this Western Digital cable, which is apparently very good, plus the Thunderbolt 4, which are faster. But yeah, now we have these graphs here, and yeah, as you can see, they're both very similar. As I said, there's the two big groups. So I'll focus on this one because the results are actually very similar between one another, and yeah, we have less data here because of course it didn't recognize the 240 watt cable. So yeah, what we're seeing here is the speed in megabytes per second, so the taller the bar, the faster it went. Therefore, we can see that the Western Digital cable and the Thunderbolt 4 cable were pretty much the same. Yeah, just a few seconds difference between one another. However, interestingly, one went faster in one of the tests and the other one was faster in another of the tests. Now that probably means, of course, that they have the exact same speed, at least at this scale. As I said, I do not have a Thunderbolt 4 port, but as you can see for the graphs, the faster the medium is, the bigger the difference. That's of course because if one of the cables is rated at one speed, everything below that speed, that cable will be able to manage. The farther away we go from that speed, then the bigger the difference will be. Therefore, as I said, I do not have any Thunderbolt drives, which sucks, because that means that I cannot test how good this Western Digital cable is. However, what we can say for sure is that if you have one of the Apple provided cables, such as the 60 watt or the 240 watt, then it represents a big increase in speed. This is actually noticeable here in the graphs. You can see that because the hard drive is limited at a slower speed, these two cables speed top up at around 100 megabytes per second, whereas in this one, they top up at over 300 megabytes per second. Also, for the Thunderbolt 4 cable, you can see that the theoretical speed is 40 gigabytes per second. And of course, that's with a Thunderbolt drive and everything, but it is also theoretical. So it's not possible to reach that speed ever. Therefore, you can see that there's a huge difference because this is topping up at 300 megabytes per second. But yeah, this has been everything on comparing the results. Now let's go ahead and finish the video. Okay, so we finished all the analysis and all the tests, and yeah, as you can see, there's clear winners. So yeah, if you have any of the Apple cables that come with any of the devices you bought, or even if you bought them separately, these are good for charging, but for transferring data they are a bit slow. So if you want something better from the first party, you should probably consider this one. This is also the cable that you will need if you want to connect your iPhone 15 Pro Max or 15 Pro to a monitor. Yeah, it's Thunderbolt. Those iPhones are finally USB-C, and they're able to connect to monitors with pretty high resolution. I'm pretty sure it can output to the 6K Pro Display XDR from Apple. But yeah, I was actually really surprised of how good this Western Digital cable stood up against the Thunderbolt 4 Pro cable. Now, of course, I didn't test anything actually Thunderbolt 4 speeds, just because I don't have anything. But probably when we test it, it will start to differentiate itself from this one. But at the speeds that I'm working on, these two are pretty much the same speed, which is good. Also, if you in the future are planning on getting like a monitor or something to output from your Mac, this is probably a cable you should get, because it will guarantee to give you the best speeds. However, as I said earlier, I think the Apple monitors do include one of these cables in the box. So yeah, if you have it, you could also use it for transferring files. But overall, if you're looking into buying a Thunderbolt cable, there are cheaper options of course, but this one is pretty well built, it's rugged, it's fast, and it's so thick. I still can't get over how thick it is. If you have any questions about the Thunderbolt 4 Pro cable from Apple, let me know down below in the comments and I will do my best to answer. Also, this video took a long time to make, especially with all the testing and stuff, so if you liked it and found it helpful, a thumbs up would be really appreciated. Then, if you want to see more Apple content, you should consider subscribing, because that's exactly what I post. And lastly, I have Twitter and Instagram where I post exclusive Apple related content, so you should follow me there as well. But yeah, thank you very much for watching and see you in the next one. Bye.